Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel, and we are back out at the duplexes here in Gallatin, Tennessee, and today we're here to trim out a window, and I'm going to show you. So here's the window, and it's been worn out throughout the years. Now the drywall was all soaking wet and everything down there, so it's all been replaced. So we decided that I looked at this window over and over and over, and the way it's put together, I think it's just time to modernize it. I think I can make this thing look a whole lot better. So what I'm going to do is take some baseboard that I have left over from another job. Actually, I pulled off another job. Rip that down, and then we're just going to case this thing out and make it brand new again. But anyway, I want you guys to take a look at the before, and then we will shortly get there to the after. All right guys, let's get rolling. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and caulk all these caulk lines. Put them, get this trim piece removed out of here. This shouldn't be too hard. Look at that. What was y'all expecting? Huh? You expecting something better? Daddy got a couple new pairs of nippers. I'm gonna go grab one of them. I knew this was going to be rough. On this side, they just filled it in with drywall mud, this gap over here. Looks like they did the same up there. All right guys, so let's discuss this right here and how we're going to set this up, okay? You're going to have to do a little bit of math, subtracting, adding to figure out how this is going to take place. But I can tell you right now, this sill is going to stick out further than the rest of these. Is that this is going to be sticking out 5/8 that way, and this is going to be sticking out 5/8 that way, and we need to take that into account when we're trying to measure for our sill plate and everything like that. So, with that being said, let me go over here to the left side and show you what I'm talking about. The trim is 2 1/4 inches wide, right? So if I go 5/8 right here off the edge of this, where my actual thing would be, that means my trim is going to stop right about right there. Now I'm going to make a crow's foot where the trim stops. Okay, same thing on the other side. Let me just pull that. That's a inch and 11/16. So inch and 11/16, and I probably need to move this refrigerator, but right now we'll be fine. Okay. All right, so now I want my sill plate to be about a 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 past the trim there, so I'm going to make that mark now. Yeah, I'm thinking 3/4 does look pretty good. So now that I know that, this right here is 2 3/8, and then over here I'll pull 2 3/8. And now I'm just going to measure from the mark I made over here over to the mark I made over here. All right, and that is 39 7/8. Going to go 39 3/4. 39 3/4, that way we can center it. That's a good even number. I would go 40, but I think that might make it just a little bit too big. Maybe not, but you know what? You guys talked me into it. We're doing 40. All right, I'll be back. All right, so our number was 40. I'm just going to go a little bit longer than that, so I have some to play with there on the end there. Alright guys, so we're going to try to get as much out of this as possible. I may even include a little bit of that in there, who knows, we'll see. We'll see what my router does. I got a new router from Harbor Freight. We're going to try it out for the first time. We tested it the other day, but we have never used it on a job, so. Alright, so let's see here. You guys see I was able to leave a little bit of a bead in there, so I'll put my router on there. I believe it'll take care of that. All right, we're gonna knock that out right quick. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it to 40 inches so I can go ahead and route the end as well. All right, so now we got it Got it cut. Yeah, this needs to be the top and this needs to be the bottom, so I'll just have to put some kind of little profile on that. And then we'll just have what it is out there on the front. That'll look fine. I think it'll be fine. All right, guys. This I got from Harbor Freight a couple months ago. And like I say, we've hardly been able to use it. I was gonna get a cordless one to go with my DeWalt stuff, but I mean, it was right there. I've been wanting one for a while. You know what? Actually, I didn't get this from Harbor Freight. I almost got it from Harbor Freight. I ordered this from Amazon. And so, we're going to get the little scroll bit. I don't know if that's a technical name for it, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, we're trying to make it look like trim, like a windowsill trim. So here's how you go about this. This little thing slides back. I'll push it all the way down in, and then of course, let's see, is there a little stop button? That's your stop button right there. It goes in that hole right there. And we should have a little wrench that came with it. Ah, there it is. So that's in there. That's tight. We'll slip this back on. Now, I don't know if this is supposed to come off or not, but it just made it a lot easier to set the bit in. All right, so now I just want to set that where it has a little bit of a profile, and then it's got the little scroll thing. I think that's us right there, guys. All right, I'm gonna kick this thing up to 6 and let's rock it out. All right, so here we go. All right, guys, so I had to change some things up a little bit. Initially, I was going with this right here, but then when I set it up in here, I realized there wasn't gonna be a whole lot sticking out here for the trim that goes up underneath there. So I went in and found a piece of 1x and cut it about 1/4 of an inch wider. That was 4, and I went with 4 1/4 on this. And of course I just did the same thing. I just took a router to the bottom of it. That's what it looks like right there. So first of all, I'm gonna find the center of the window. We're at 35 and 3/16, so 35 and 3/16 divided by 2 is going to be 17 and 9/16, right? So let's double check that. 17 9/16. Right there, and then 17 and 9/16. Boom. It's a little trick y'all can show your friends. This is going to be 40 inches, so I'm going to make a mark at 20 inches. I'll put one on the front and I'll put one on the back just to have a good time. All right, so now this is going to be going in this way. I'm going to go ahead and set this up here and line my 20 inches up with my center there. So you can see now that this sticks past this, and then the trim will come down and sit over here. All right. And I mean, this right here doesn't have to be perfect, because remember, we've got a piece of trim that's going to be coming down and sitting on top of it. So don't feel like, oh, I got to get that thing perfectly square in there, because you don't. Anyway, I'm going to mark right there, and we are going to mark right there. Now, figure out how far it is from the window out, and I got 3 5/16. So that's gonna come down to here. 3 5/16. Right there, believe it or not, that's all I got left. That's all I got left. That's gonna be sticking out on the outside, but that's okay. I mean, that's what we wanted, right? And then of course on the other side, same thing. I will double check it though. All right, I'm gonna go notch this so it fits in this window. I'll be right back. So we had 35 on the top. Ended up being 3 3/16 was the rip. Alright, so this goes in. I think I like it. I like it. All right, you guys, so we got this whole thing trimmed out with the 1x all the way around. I'm fixing to start measuring for the trim, but I wanted to get up close and personal so you guys can see what we're looking at and what we're looking like going forward. There's that. Now these, I had to cut at an angle up there. This was a little bit weird. I guess it shoved up that way, which I'm glad it did, or else it would have been flush right there. And I don't want it to be flush. I like to have some kind of a reveal, a little bit, even if it's nothing. So I cut those on an angle, fit them right in there. Now this side, as you can see, I had to cut it at 3 3/16 and then come down here and 3 3/8 at the bottom. So I had to cut that one a little bit at an angle. I used a straight edge to do that and ran it through my table saw. But that's where we are right now. Right now I'm fixing to measure for this trim, 2 1/4 trim. And this window should be done real soon. All right, here we go. All right, so the trim is 2 1/4. So I'm going to try to leave like a reveal like this right here. You feel me? And now that'll get covered up with caulk. But anyway. You see what I'm saying there. Alright, so that tells me that my side piece right here needs to be, let's go with 33 and 7/8. Let's do 33 and 15/16. Alright, of course across the top we'll have, looks like 34 and 1/8. Alright guys, 34 and 1/8. 3 pieces of trim and we're ready. I went ahead and cut my miters the way that they're going to be, and then I marked them a little bit long. I find it to be a whole lot more accurate when you can set them in place and mark them so you can do the final cut right before you glue them up. Now, if this is your first time on the channel or you're not familiar with CA glue, it's actually just like a super glue, but it has an accelerator so that the glue dries immediately. It's great for when you're doing trim like this. Another thing, by doing it this way, you can really center it up really nice. Look at your reveal on both sides instead of just trying to guess. That right there looks beautiful to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and nail that. Now you can get fancy with this if you want to. Some people just go ahead and cut their piece of trim and then angle it on a 22. I'm going to go ahead and cut returns on mine and glue them on the end and then stick them in here. Should be no problem. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that this goes right up underneath there. So I'm going to measure from the outside to the outside of my trim, and I have 38 3/4. All right, looks like we're fixing to get rained on, so we got to hurry up. Little CA glue in there and gluing our ends up. And it's gonna look good, guys. Look at that return right there. See it? All right, now we gotta do the other side. All right, guys, here is the last step. This is the trim piece that goes on the bottom. We'll go ahead and nail that. You can see we got our returns on the end there instead of just whacking it off at 22.5 degrees. I like it. I like it. All right, guys, that's it.